Okay guys, welcome back to part 4 and the final part of the 19.6 notes. So I'm going to pick up where I sort of got left off on the last video. So we are going to be solving the equation of negative cosine squared x minus 3 sine x plus 9 equals to 0. Now for those of you who watched the whole entire video last time, we did talk about the fact that this is a cosine. Let's go back. Okay. That this is cosine of x and this is sine x, which we cannot turn sine x into a cosine x. However, we could use Pythagorean identity to take a cosine square x into sine x. Now, anytime we're going to be using a Pythagorean identity, you do have to communicate that on the side. So here we go. And again, excuse my handwriting, or more like finger writing. Okay, Pythagorean identity. And the one we're using is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals to 1, which in this case is going to be cosine squared theta equals to 1 minus sine squared theta, which then I can go back and replace. So I'm going to get negative 10 times 1 minus sine squared theta, or x, minus 3 sine x. Okay. I'm going to have to erase a little bit. Plus 9 equals to 0. Distribute, so negative 10 plus 10 sine squared x minus 3 sine x. Okay, gotta erase a little more. Alright. Wish I had a stylus. Okay, plus 9 equals to 0. Consolidate, so we're going to get 10 sine squared x minus 3 sine x minus 1 equal to 0, which we know to be an equation in quadratic form. You can set u equal to sine of x and then change this back into 10u squared minus 3u minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and just solve this. So I'm going to factor, this is going to be 5 sine x, okay, plus 1 times 2 sine x minus 1 equals to 0. So now it is factored. Okay, from here, I am going to erase everything. So we have 5 sine x plus 1, and then 2 sine x minus 1 equals to 0, which then sine x is equal to negative 1/5, and sine x is equal to 1/2. Now let's think about where does sine x equal to 1/2, because this is a special ratio. I know it's 30 degrees, or pi over 6, and sine is positive in both the first and the second quadrant. So x is going to equal to pi over 6, and x equals to 5 pi over 6. Now, there is no restriction on the domain we're supposed to use here, which means I need to include all the solutions. Now coming back, the period for sine, again, this is regular sine, so period for sine is 2 pi. So we're going to add 2n pi, because we'll switch over, and n is an element of integers, and plus 2n pi, and n is an element of integers. Now over to sine x equals to negative 1/5, we don't have a special angle that gives us a ratio of negative 1/5, which tells me I'm probably going to be using a scientific calculator for this. So x equals to inverse sine of negative 1/5. Okay, I'm going to put that into the calculator. Make sure you're in radian mode. Which gives me x is roughly negative 2.01. Now, as we know, sine is actually, within one period, sine is negative in 2 quadrants. The fourth and the third. Okay, so for some of these, we might need a little bit of a picture to show us. Okay, xy. So negative 2. Oh, sorry, this is a typo. This is actually negative, not 2.01, negative 0.201, which means it is in the fourth quadrant with a reference angle of 0.201. So then the angle I'm looking for should be in the third quadrant. Okay. And it should also have a reference angle of 0.201. So how do I find this particular angle then? Because I do need that another angle to basically say there's two angles within the unit circle or one period of sine that gives me a ratio of negative 1/5. So we notice the difference is this whole thing here is pi, but this angle is just 0.201 short. So I'm going to be able to get my answer by taking pi minus 0.01, but notice this is a negative angle. Okay, so when I do that, this gives me negative 2.940. Now again, I am including all the solutions, so we need plus 2 and pi, and is the element of integers, and plus 2 and pi, and is an element of integers. Okay, so all these together will give me all the solutions for this particular question. And again, make sure when you use Pythagorean identity, you do go ahead and indicate that as one of your communication. Okay, so this finishes this question. Let's move on. The next example, secant squared x plus 5 tangent x equals to negative 2. Same thing. If I were paying attention to this, I notice there's a secant x, square x here, and there's tangent x here. It is impossible for me to write tangent x as a secant x, but I can write a secant square x into a tangent square x by using Pythagorean identity. So we're using a Pythagorean identity. Okay. Now, which is the one that has to do with secant square x? Oh, I know. It's tangent. Have your Pythagorean identity memorized, please. Tangent squared x plus 1 equals to secant square x, which means I can go ahead and just do a direct replacement. So this is going to be tangent squared x plus 1 plus 5 tangent x plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, the reason why I need to move the 2 to the left is because, again, I need to put this in quadratic form. So I get tangent squared x plus 5 tangent x plus 3 equals to 0. And some of you guys go, Miss A, this is not factorable. Okay, is quadratic formula the only, is factoring the only way we know how to solve a quadratic equation? You could also complete the square with this one. So this is going to be tangent x squared x plus 5 tangent x equals to negative 3. Now, what would be a correct third term to add both sides? We have to take half the middle, which is 5 over 2, and square that. So I'm going to be adding 25 over 4 to both sides. And for those of you who don't remember how to complete the square, although I really think you should, you can always go ahead and use quadratic formula for this. So this is going to factor into tangent x plus 5 over 2 squared is equal to, well, negative 3 is negative 12 over 4, which is going to give me negative 13 over 4 here. Okay, from here, erase this, because again, I gotta make some work. Okay, so from here, we're gonna obviously square root both sides. Okay, we're gonna square root both sides. We're going to get this. So we have tangent x plus 5 over 2 is equal to, oh sorry, this should have been a positive. Okay. Plus minus the square root of 13 over 2, which means tangent x is equal to negative 5 plus minus the square root of 13 over 2. Now, how do we solve for this? Well, again, use a scientific calculator because we don't know any special right triangles where the ratio is actually negative 5 plus minus 13 over 2. Okay, so we're going to use, obviously, a calculator on this. So we're going to do inverse tangent of x. Well, sorry, inverse tangent of negative 5 plus minus the square root of 13 over 2 equals to x, which should give us two solutions here. Okay, so taking your scientific calculator, we're going to say the inverse tangent, careful with your parentheses please, of negative 5 plus square root of 13 divided by 2, which gives me negative 0.609. Now, if you remember what the graph of tangent looks like, within any period, okay, within any period of tangent, which is pi, you're not going to touch the negative 5 plus rad 13 over 2 more than once. So this is all I need for that period. Now, the second one, we're going to go back and say inverse tangent. Again, mind your parentheses, please. Minus the square root of 13 over 2 divided by 2, sorry. Again, mind those parentheses. Again, negative 1.342. Now remember, I do need all the solutions. So for the final solution, we need to write this. I need all the solutions, which means it's going to be this. Let me rewrite this. Zero 9 plus. Now what's the period for tangent? That's right, it's pi. Okay, so make sure you write that. And this is negative 1.342 plus, again, n pi. And we're talking about n being the element of integers. Okay. So these two are the solutions we're looking for. Okay, so you guys are going to highlight. You're going to be highlighting this and this. Okay. Last one. Let's see if I can finish this. What is wrong with this solution? You know what? I am actually not going to finish this, but I will give you a hint, and I do want you guys to communicate with me as to what your answer is. Please comment on Remind or Facebook. We can kind of continue this discussion on Facebook tutoring group as to why you think this is wrong, because some of you guys think it's correct. So I will say this. What did they do to go from this step to this step? And we kind of went through this in one of the examples, and I want you guys to think hard. Is it okay? And what mathematical process was performed to go from this first step to the second step? And is that step mathematically correct? If your answer is no, whatever the step is, whatever you tell me, and again, comment on Facebook or comment on Remind about this. Whatever your step is, if it's not mathematically correct, then you need to go ahead and redo this question. And after I get everybody's comments by Friday, I will post the actual solution for this. Okay? And again, guys, make sure you are on top of your assignment and keep asking questions. And I look forward to seeing your guys' feedback on Remind on Facebook. All right? Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.